Science and Technology Minister Professor Surasawadi presided at the opening ceremony of the first meeting Southeast Asian Pharmacogenomic Research Network organized by the Thailand Center of Excellence for Life Science T-cells under the Ministry of Science and Technology and its partner. Mr. Professor is giving us more detail about pharmacogenomics network in ASEAN.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to be invited to this first meeting of Southeast Asian Pharmacogenomics Research Network Symposium for the Genetic and Personalized Medicine in Asia, which focuses on overall and applications. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to notice the tremendous amount of genetic knowledge that keep growing at exponential rate following the rapid development of sequencing technology. I must say that it is necessary for Thailand to establish a strong base for medical education and research in genetic and personalized medicine in order to position the national and collaborative regional strategic planning to promote the regional development of genomic-based health care, which eventually will improve the quality of life for Thai and Southeast Asia people. I think we should agree that the establishment of dialogue in international network development will open opportunity for experts in Southeast Asia to exchange and enhance the effectiveness in personalized medicine, which will be beneficial. Thailand is a country where its people spend so much money buying drugs. We estimate that the cost of medication for Thai people is around 3,900 something baht, equivalent to $100. To us, the lack of genetic database, for example, is an inherited blood disorder which causes the body to make less hemoglobin than normal. Well, I'm very familiar to this, I don't know if it's all disease or not, because I have two sons. Both of my two sons have thalassemia, but not me. And of course I know before I marry, but I decide to marry because to me, love is greater than risk. Now passing to my grandson. So, he's so close to me, but not so far from you. Ladies and gentlemen, the pharmacogenomic study in Southeast Asia will become more important in the near future. To deliver benefit to the population that study and utilize this knowledge effectively. Ladies and gentlemen, for this first meeting of Southeast Asian Pharmacogenomic Research Network Symposium for Genetic and Genome
NBT, power for a sustainable future.
Welcome back, and in this morning's top business issues at 7:32 a.m. The National Broadcasting and Telecommunications Commission, or the NBTC, intends to invite bids for the 2.1 gigahertz spectrum licenses by the third quarter. Some NBTC commissioners said they cannot rid themselves of worry that something beyond their control could happen to sabotage their plans. Commissioner Suthipon Thawichaikan said the watchdog had assigned its office to list the risk factors and scenarios that could derail the planned auction and submit it to the board this week. Another commissioner, Supinya Klangnarong, said one of the biggest concerns was the responsibility of legal action against any of the NBTC's 3 master plans governing spectrum management, telecommunications, and broadcasting.
Thai corporations are responding to the Myanmar government's moves to make things easier for foreign investors. Permanent Secretary for Finance, Astra, said the government fully supports Thai investors looking for business opportunities in the neighboring country, which is rich in resources such as gas and oil reserves. He sees mutual benefits for both sides and for all ASEAN citizens who in the future will be able to travel freely in the region, similar to how Europeans can take advantage of the EU's economic integration. The 10 ASEAN states will launch the ASEAN Economic Community, or AEC, in 2015, enabling free movements of goods, services, and cargo.
And over in international business, Hong Kong Exchanges and Clearing will begin offering futures tracking the HSI Volatility Index of options prices today. Futures on the benchmark, which tracks expected equity market volatility over the next 30 days, are the first of their kind based on an Asian market. The Osaka Securities Exchange will begin offering futures on Japan's Nikkei Stock Average Volatility Index next Monday.
Still in Asia, a Hong Kong-based company that stores and transports precious metals and diamonds plans to open a vault location in its doubling space in Singapore as rising demand for its 4th year of games. The regional manager of Nauka Amit Global Limited said the Beijing facility at the city's airport will open by the end of the year. A $2 million expansion at the Singapore Freeport will be ready in 6 months, adding 3 vaults to the existing pair, which are 80% full. Nauka Amit is joining lenders such as Deutsche Bank AG and storage companies including the Brinks Co. in opening or expanding vaults to tap demand for secure space to house commodities used to protect wealth.
The Iranian oil ministry said Iran has stopped selling crude to British and French companies in a retaliatory measure against fresh EU sanctions on oil. The European Union decided to stop importing crude from Iran from the 1st of July over its disputed nuclear program, which the West said is aimed at building bombs, and Iran has denied it. The European Commission said the bloc would not be short of oil if Iran stopped crude exports, as they have enough in stock to meet their needs for around 120 days. Industry sources said that Iran's top oil buyers in Europe were making substantial cuts in supply months in advance of European Union sanctions, reducing flows to the continent next month by more than a third, or over 300,000 barrels daily.
Russian equities in New York posted the 6th advance in 7 weeks, led by Vimpelcom Limited and OAO Rush Hydro as the best gain for oil this year, bolstered flows and spot funds focus on the world's largest energy exporter. The Bloomberg Russia-US 14 index of Russian companies traded in New York rose 2.6% last week to 109.14. Equity funds dedicated to Russia took in $109 million in the week ended on Wednesday last week. Crude traded in New York rose to a 9-month high, adding 4.6% last week as an index of leading U.S. indicators rose in January and jobless claims slid to a 4-year low.
The rebound in the world's worst-performing currency is diminishing the likelihood that Turkey's central bank will raise interest rates to stem the highest inflation in 19 major emerging markets trading in the swaps market show. The cost to lock in 2-year borrowing costs through interest rate swaps tumbled to 392 basis points above the benchmark 1-week repurchase rate last Friday from 570 basis points on the 5th of last month. The 3.75% benchmark rate sets the floor of a corridor within which the governor of the Central Bank of the Republic of Turkey varies lending rates. The governor will probably hold that rate unchanged at a monetary policy meeting tomorrow.
Egypt's finance minister said Cairo expects to sign a loan agreement with the International Monetary Fund, or IMF, for $3.2 billion next month. The state-run Al Haram Daily said that sum would be dispersed in 3 stages, the first upon the deal signing, with the second and third 3 and 6 months later, respectively. Egypt formally requested the loan last month after rejecting an offer made last year. The report said Egypt is also negotiating a second loan for $1 billion with the World Bank.
And lastly, EC board member Jörg Asmussen said the European Central Bank would support the Eurozone boosting its firewall by combining what remains in its temporary bailout facility with its permanent fund. Other top policymakers, such as Eurogroup President Jean-Claude Juncker, have already called for the currency bloc to combine what remains in the European Financial Stability Facility with the 500 billion euros or $658.15 billion earmarked for the European Stability Mechanism to create a super fund. However, government sources said Germany, which is Europe's largest economy and main paymaster, would only boost the bloc's firewall under threat of a disaster. Meanwhile, Eurozone finance ministers have agreed to reassess the adequacy of the Eurozone rescue funds next month.
And those are our business reports for today. We've got some sporting action to shift the pace a little in just a couple of minutes.
PTT Group is Thailand's largest energy and petrochemical conglomerate. It is made up from 45 companies, and its market capitalization represents 30% of the Stock Exchange of Thailand, or SET. The group's mother company, PTT PLC, was ranked 155th in the Fortune Global 500 in 2010. PTT, power for sustainable future.
Radio Thailand News.
Radio Thailand presents As in Focus, a daily program featuring news and information about the Association of the Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, in all aspects. ASEAN community must have full confidence in legal rules. Indonesian President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono has called on the people of Southeast Asia to have full confidence in illegal rules that have been agreed by ASEAN. In his opening speech on the 11th General Assembly of ASEAN Law Association at Bali International Convention Center, Yudhoyono stressed the commitment of ASEAN to encourage law enforcement, justice system, and legal infrastructure in the region. President Yudhoyono said this task cannot be achieved by ASEAN leaders alone, but all member states have active participation and a sense of belonging from all ASEAN civil societies. In the security and political fields, ASEAN countries have agreed on a number of legally binding instruments that have been internationally recognized. ASEAN has also agreed on the mechanism of conflict and dispute resolution to maintain peace among the member states. In the economic field, President Yudhoyono said ASEAN has had free trade agreements with its strategic partners, China, Japan, South Korea, India, Australia, and New Zealand. And this agreement will make inter-ASEAN investment more attractive and simpler. Thanachapon Jantra, ASEAN Focus.